Coach, how you doing, Coach? Coach, I'll die for you, Coach. I just wanted you to believe in me. I just wanted you to believe in me. Let's go to the Lions.
And they basically told me if I'm there, it's a possibility they're going to take me. So I had my phone right next to me, ringer on all the way up. Kept checking it, I was nervous, but when I got that call, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it, the feeling.
The Lions take one of my favorite players in this draft class, Isaac TeSlaa out of Arkansas. I'm giving this an A+. Almost 6'4", 214 pounds, ran a 4.43 in the combine.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, woo! And greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host, once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Lions Talk Live. It's Thursday morning show edition, and guess what day it is? It is going to be the start of the NFL season later today, so you know what? Grab your nachos, grab your Mountain Dew, get ready to kick back and watch the first game of the season. During the main topic of the day, we're going to do something a little bit different today. You're going to have to stick around for it, but I think you guys are going to enjoy it. We've got some news, some information, if you would. Can this be true regarding a few different topics? And again, we'll get into it during the main topic of the day. I'm going to try to do the show a little bit differently. Don't like doing the same stuff all the time. But I think there is some news and information facing the Detroit Lions. Maybe not the most impactful of all time, the most news-breaking of all time, but we're going to dive into a couple questions that need answering during the main topic of the day. Before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now, you probably know the drill by now. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're making that march over for 14,500 subs, and we are 77 away from that. I had to do the math in my head, so hey, sorry about that. If you got it in you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel out, as you probably know if you've watched YouTube any kind of length of time. Anytime you get an interaction through a subscription, through a comment, through a share, through a paste, whatever, it helps out. While you're doing all that, if you would be so kind, don't be afraid to hit the thumbs up button, the like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. Last but most certainly never least, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. We'll have a quick conversation, see what we can do to use over 30 years of the industry, experience-wise for me, to help you save time, money, effort, hassle. Look for the right, wrongs, or indifference with a property, the paperwork, everything involved with your real estate purchase. Go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. Let's see what I can do to make sure I work hard so you don't have to. All right, all that done, set out of the way. Let's get the show rocking and rolling and going and kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, it is a Thursday, so typically, for those who don't know, if you haven't paid attention, Thursdays are more or less a dress rehearsal day for all NFL teams. Yes, it's the last day you put in real work out there on the practice field. Fridays, man, if Thursdays aren't the heaviest load, Fridays are just walkthroughs. The Detroit Lions, they have not announced their travel itinerary as of yet. It would be my anticipation, and it's just that, my anticipation. The Lions will have a full go. They'll put on the pads to hit each other today. Tomorrow, though, Friday, they're going to not have pads on. They're going to walk through positional stuff, and probably very as light or low contact as possible. And then the question becomes for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, do you fly to Lambeau Friday or do you do it Saturday? My anticipation, since it's not a very long flight, and that way you don't keep guys cooped up in hotels very long, they probably do it on Saturday. That way they only really have one night there. So, all right, anyways, before we get into that even more during the main topic of the day, let's get into the 5 headlines now. Detroit Lions playmaker and insurance policy surprisingly listed as trade candidate. The Sporting News, Mike Moratis. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, this would be a -5 right now. But according to Mike Moratis, both he and, a couple people over at the Bleacher Report, Christopher Knox, are both saying that there are some potential. You guys draw your own conclusions with it. That Khalif Raymond is a trade candidate for the Detroit Lions. Both gentlemen say the reasoning why is apparently, if you talk to Lions coaching staff, positional coaches off the record, they're all saying the same thing. The Lions have a growing superstar in Dominic Lovett. They feel Dominic Lovett is quickly ascending to the point where, they think he can not only do the punt and kick return, which I think most of us, when he was drafted, that was our wild belief that, Lovett would replace Raymond at some point. They say also as a wide receiver, you see the gap between both diminishing more and more. It's just with the trade of Tim Patrick a week ago, I just don't see the Lions rolling out there by getting rid of Khalif Raymond. Raymond, if you haven't been paying attention, he's a dang good kick and punt returner. Pretty good offensive player as far as a wide receiver. Yes, he may not be the tallest guy out there, but the guy is quick, he's fast, everything in between. Raymond's special teams value, I think, can't be overlooked, and that's why I really, maybe they know something that the rest of us don't. I just don't see where Bleacher Report or, any of the other publications saying that Khalif Raymond is a trade candidate. I don't see where that holds water. Now, if you would have asked me before Tim Patrick got traded if Khalif Raymond is a possible trade candidate, maybe I would agree then. But right now, I just don't see it happening. I guess we'll want to pay attention. Mike Moranis, for those who don't know, he's covered the NFL for the Sporting News and other publications, USA Today and Fanside. Man, I want to say for about 20 years now. So when he says something, it does hold some weight. He does have contacts throughout the NFL. So my anticipation is this isn't just something he writes and puts out there and says, hey, let's just put out a story today. He's actually got some cooperation from some sources stating that. Bleacher Report is another publication that I would say, when they pen something, it's fairly legitimate more often than not. Khalif Raymond, could he be traded? What would you get for him? If you're the Detroit Lions, are really worried about getting another 6th or 7th round pick? Or is this an indication the Detroit Lions might trade him for, I don't know, some position on the team they feel they are lacking at? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I could have made this the main topic today. I kind of didn't want to until we get more information on it. But again, coming from, Mike Moranis at the Sporting News, I did want to throw it in the headlines just because I thought there was some legitimacy to it. All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now. Za'Darius Smith's girlfriend fires back at Lions head coach over, quote, "we're good," end quote, comment. John Stevenson, mlive.com. Yeah, to me, this is something to do about nothing. A few of you guys messaged me yesterday and say, hey, Za'Darius Smith's girlfriend's coming after MCDC and the Lions. I look at it this way. MCDC, he gets asked about Za'Darius Smith all the time in press conferences, and it's been that way for months. He just simply said, no, we're good right now. And I didn't think it was rude. I didn't take it as, man, he was throwing a slight at Za'Darius. It's just I think MCDC and the Detroit Lions right now, they may have an agreement in place that after the Green Bay game, hey, we're signing Za'Darius. They may also say, hey, he doesn't fit what we're going to be doing this year. That's possible as well. It could also be that, man, MCDC, Kelvin Shepard, and whoever else you want to list, just look at the Lions defensive front and say, hey, we're good enough. He's not a big upgrade over there. Remember, there's a difference between being a coach who sees these people every day at practice and having your own determinations versus, me, you, and a lot of us who just watched a guy last year, didn't see him practice or anything, just saw him play. And yes, he's got a one heck of a personality. I hope the Lions do re-sign him, but for whatever reason, the Lions haven't done it yet. MCDC made the comment, we're good, and apparently Cash Dow took exception to it, took to Instagram. I'm not going to go into all of it, but she was basically less than happy with the fact that MCDC said we're good, we don't need Za'Darius Smith. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he meant. Draw your own conclusions. Let me know what they are in the comment section if you would be so kind. All right, next to the 5 glorious headlines now, predicting the NFL playoff teams, including the Lions, ahead of the 2025 season. This comes from our friends over at USA Today. Have a little fun with this one. We'll probably have a little bit more fun with predictions tomorrow. That could be a tell towards tomorrow's show. Anyways, Lions, they are predicting, USA Today is predicting the Lions to finish 12-5 overall. They're also predicting a 4-2 record in the NFC North. With that also being said, they do feel that we're gonna split with the Packers and the Bears by winning the home matchups and losing on the road. Then 3 losses at Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Philadelphia. Hey, if we finish 12-5 with this record and win the NFC North, I don't really care how it happens as long as it happens. Again, this is coming from USA Today. They also think Detroit, is going to be a better overall team than what we saw last year. And hey, I get it. We finished with 15 wins, but you know what? Just because you won 15 last year doesn't mean you're going to be better than the team you're going to see on the field this year. They do a pretty good analyzation of the Lions, the strengths, the weaknesses. I'm not going to spend all day on all of it. If you guys want to check it out, go over to USA.com to find it. As far as the NFC, for those who want to know, they think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rode an easy divisional schedule to an unprecedented defense and the number 1 seed this year. They've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the number 1 seed over everybody else. Not going to worry about the AFC, but this is probably the one that we all going to want to know. The Super Bowl prediction from USA Today. As they have the Lions versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl. And unfortunately for Lions fans, while we'd probably all be pretty happy if we saw the Lions in the Super Bowl, they did pick the Ravens over the Lions in the Super Bowl. Enjoy their season, as they say. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think the Lions will finish around 12 wins? Do you think we'll win the North? Do you think we'll make it to the Super Bowl? Do you think we'll lose the Super Bowl if we make it there? I don't know. All can be true. All can be false. I think the Lions are going to get there, and we're going to win it this year. So, hey, we'll see what Dan O'Damas has to say tomorrow. Detroit Lions signed veteran quarterback to practice squad after trial. SB Nation, story by Jeremy Risman. The Lions interviewed or worked out 3 different quarterbacks yesterday. Could have done a video on it. Didn't want to do it. I just said, hey, I didn't think this was big news. And then about an hour and a half afterwards, they did sign one of those gentlemen. I think all 3 would have been good opportunities for the Lions. There's no word as of yet who's going to be waived from the team, but they did work out a couple different guys. One person that was signed was C.J. Bethel, and he's going to be the number 3 or emergency quarterback, I'm assuming, sooner versus later for the Detroit Lions. The practice squad was full, so you will have to remove somebody from it or cut somebody from it to put CJ on it. CJ's played in the NFL for about 9 years, I want to say now. 9 NFL seasons. He was drafted in the 3rd round in 2017. Over his career, he's made 32 game appearances, including 13 starts. Over the past 4 years, though, he's only thrown a total of 66 passes, most of which came in a role with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 23. To his credit, he completed 17 of 24 passes for 178 yards in a 26-0 win over the Carolina Panthers. So he, is this going to be a big ad for the Lions? Probably not, but at least you're getting somebody who's a veteran, who's been there, has done that, even started a few NFL games. I don't think this is going to be a make or break situation for the Detroit Lions season, but with CJ Bethard, I think if nothing else, he brought some stability to the quarterback position because now, in case you need it, you do have a 3rd option out there. All right, out of the 5 headlines now, this is probably the biggest news or note today. Lions wide receiver Isaac TeSlaa, little bug, end quote, is nothing to be concerned about for week 1. NFL on clutch points. We all knew that 2 days ago he missed practice, and you know what? Yesterday he returned to practice in a limited capacity per this report. He had been going through meetings with his coaching staffs remotely. Whatever bug he had, wasn't trying to pass it on to anybody. Lions probably did the right thing there, keeping him at bay so he can't pass on any kind of illness to everybody else. Because let's face it, you don't want that to happen right before we go to Green Bay and then everybody wakes up Sunday morning sick. Yeah, that was probably a smooth move. Now, the big question for Lions fans, how much will he be involved in Sunday's game plan? I guess we'll wait and see. He went through limited stuff yesterday. If he's anywhere near a full go today and then gets the full walkthrough tomorrow, Friday, I think he's probably going to play. Now, how big of a role? Your guess is as good as mine. But I will throw this at you. If they got rid of Tim Patrick, which we all know they traded him, then the Lions coaching staff has some plans for him. It's my anticipation Khalif Raymond's going to play a big role in the offense, but so is TeSlaa. They are both fast. They are both great athletes. They both run block very well. But let's face it, they both have differences as well. Raymond's probably a little bit more shifty, a little bit, bigger threat to go over the middle, etc. Do some things TeSlaa can't. TeSlaa is going to do some things Raymond can't, especially in the red zone. That's where I think it gets real interesting with TeSlaa down there, because Sam Laporta, a big body wide receiver. TeSlaa, a big body wide receiver. Jameson Williams, I get, we talk about all the time. Most people don't even realize he's over 6'2". So right there, you got some size and ability to go get the ball up in the air where most defensive backs can't. I think we're going to see some stuff out of him. It's just going to come down to basically how much can he digest over the couple days he is fully available to practice. And then, how's he feeling Sunday? If he's already feeling good enough to return to the physical aspects of practice, then my guess is he has around 3 more days of healing or recovery from whatever illness he has. He's going to be fine by then. All right, guys, let's head over to the main topic of the day. Like I said, we're going to do this one a little bit different today, just as we get ready for week 1 of the season. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to do this a little bit of game show for the main topic of the day. I'm going to throw out some questions that need answering. There's a bunch of different stuff we are going to talk about. You're starting to see the national media talk about when it comes to your Detroit Lions building up for this week 1 game. So I want to have something a little fun, a little bit different, make it as interactive with you guys as possible. I'm going to be the game show host. I'm going to throw out the question at you guys. You guys have to answer in the comment section. Let's kick it off with this with the first one. First one out there. Who won the trade, if you had to say right now, between the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys? And I'm going to throw it out there. Well, you guys all know. If you don't, I'm going to bring you up to speed. Micah Parsons, he's going to have to take a big shot of cortisone in that back in order to play Sunday. That's coming from more and more of the beat reporters for the NFL. And just too many to list, but let's just go with Shefty over at ESPN. He's reporting that, he may have to take this shot every game in order to play. If that's true, and you're talking about if you've never had a cortisone shot, which thankfully I have not, but this is something you would give to a woman who's childbearing, going through labor. It's that intense, and you know what? It wears off quickly in contact sports. I did a little bit of looking at this, and I would say if you're talking from a football standpoint, fine, you get them out there for a game. If it was a playoff game, the Super Bowl, I'd probably understand it. But week 1 of the regular season, you think Parsons is taking that shot, he's going to feel it probably by the second quarter. It's only going to get worse for that back, and he's going to have to take it every game. Man, this young man's got a life in front of him. Maybe he feels the pressure since he was just traded for. But right now, if you had to guess this, is Jerry Jones the smartest GM in the NFL by saying, hey, I got a superstar player who wants a $200 million contract, and you know what? Maybe I can get a couple first-round picks in the all-pro defensive lineman if I trade him now. Do you think who won the trade? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right, that's question 1. Question 2, how many touchdowns does Goff throw out there Sunday? You look at the Packers. They let go of Alexander from that secondary. I think their pass rush, with or without Parsons, is going to be improved. I'm going to give them credit. I think they've done a good job constructing this team. But we also know Jared Goff in recent years is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL when facing pressure. There's a whole lot to do about nothing, in my opinion, when it comes to John Morton and this offense. Is it going to take time for both coordinators to get caught up to speed? We've only seen 8 times in the NFL where both teams the team has replaced both coordinators and still made the playoffs, let alone win the Super Bowl. So 8 other times it's happened. My question to you guys is, how many times, has these teams, when they replace both coordinators, even been a playoff team the year before? That I don't know. All right, next question I've got for you, and I'm throwing a lot of questions at you guys, but I'm trying to do something a little different, have a little fun. If you had to guess right now, who leads the Detroit Lions in receiving yards this year? There's no wrong answers. Here's your probable people to consider: St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, maybe Khalif Raymond or Isaac TeSlaa, or I guess could it be somebody else? Maybe Jackson Meeks. Let me know your thoughts. But in my opinion, and I'll throw this out there while we're doing the game show, I think Jared Goff's going to have a pretty good game. But we'll have to wait for tomorrow for some of the more in detail thoughts on that. All right, next out there, question I got for you guys. Sorry, reading through the list here. Offensive line on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's say last year they were a 9 or a 10, your own personal opinion. Where do you think the offensive line will be by the time the Lions get to the playoffs? Do you think they're a 1 out of 10, a 5 out of 10, a 10 out of 10, a 20 out of 10? Whatever your thoughts are, there's no wrong answer. These are your thoughts. Next question I got for you. Who leads the team in rushing? Is it Jared Goff? Could be Crazy Legs Goff. He has been working on his mobility. Or could it be one of the running backs, wide receivers? Could it be somebody else? Let me know your thoughts. MVP candidates. And if you are checking Vegas, Lions have a couple people surprisingly popping up. The obvious one out there is going to be Jared Goff. But could it be Gibbs is an MVP candidate? Could it be Aiden Hutchinson is an MVP type season? How about Marcus Davenport? Let's face it, that Lions defensive line, especially when they get Aleem the Dream McNeil back, you got some players out there. Could it be somebody on that line, or at least the front seven, represents or is in the push for the MVP consideration? Could it be somebody from the secondary? All right, next list I got for you. Who leads the Lions in sacks this year? You guys probably know the suspects. I just mentioned most of them, but who do you think will lead the team in sacks this season? Again, for those just joining, the main topic of the day, it's just, hey, throwing some questions at you guys as we get ready for week 1. Can this be true? Can the Lions win the Super Bowl? Can the Lions win the North again? What do you think the record will be? Again, just trying to do something a little different for you guys this morning. All right, and then the next one. How many interceptions or fumbles will one of the Lions players have? So who leads the team in turnovers? Maybe that's a better way to word it. You got a whole lot of people make plays out there. Lions have playmakers. There's no doubt about it. We don't get talked about enough when it comes to the Lions playmakers on offense and defense. You hear people like Micah Parsons and 20 other guys in the NFL, but how often does the national media really bring up the fact that Kirby Joseph is a ball hawk? How about Brian Branch? I really thought, man, last year, he had some good turnovers. He nearly had a few more. One that really sticks out in my brain is at Minnesota, that one where he came out of nowhere and picked off that deep out route at that. All right, next one I have for you. Out of the rookies, who do you feel like will make the biggest impact on this team this season? And let's be fair, this rookie class smells different than maybe some of the other ones. I don't think it's going to be as good, maybe I'm wrong, as the Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, rookie class. I mean, Jack Campbell, Gibbs, that's just an incredibly insane amount of talent you got out of the first 4 picks, let alone all the rest of the picks. Don't forget some of the other guys out there. But when you look at this rookie class, at least so far, I think it's fair to say there's a wee bit of hype about Tyleek the Freak Williams. There's a little bit of expectations for Ratledge. TeSlaa, we're probably going to be talking about him all year. Maybe even Hassanin when he returns. Or could it be that Dominic Lovett or maybe Miles Frazier? Maybe one of these guys does something. But in my opinion, it doesn't, let me reword that. In your opinion, who do you think are going to be the big rookies this year that make an impact? The fact that you have 2, and it looks like to some degree maybe 3 already projected to start in some capacity this year. And I guess you could even argue if Dominic Lovett really makes a move up and maybe on special teams he starts, 4 impact rookies on a team that drafted 28 with the 15-2 record last year, give a whole lot of credit to that Lions scouting department because that would be something for sure. Oh, and I see Phil's comment. Don't forget Meeks is a rookie too. Could he be added in? All right, Duke Crew, that's what I got for you for today's game show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll probably try to do this once in a while throughout the regular season just to try to bust up the monotony. But if there are other questions that you guys think should be a part of it, let me know. You can send me a text or send me a message or whatever you want and just go from there. I think the Lions are going to be set up for a very super season. And yes, tomorrow, breaking news, Dan O'Damas will be here to give his fine thoughts on the Detroit Lions entering week 1 and maybe over the NFL season as well. All right, let's get to the Duke Crew comments section, see what you guys have to say about all these things, and then we'll get you out onto your day. I'm scrolling to the top of the screen. Give me one moment, if you please. Johnny L., good morning, folks. Back at you. Steve Rogers, rise and shine, Duke Crew! Exclamation point. The first official game of the year is tonight. You're not wrong. Philly, Dallas, who wins? Man, does Dallas get beat down? Do they show any signs of life? I think the first 4 weeks for the Dallas Cowboys this season, this is it for them. You just traded away Parsons. You sent a big message to the rest of the team that maybe we're not in it to win it this year. Or could it be that Jerry Jones, like we were talking about during the game show, steps up and says, hey, we knew what was going on with his back. We knew it was going to be a question to play this year, let alone in the future. Maybe he really is that smart and forward thinking. Could be. All right, Pat, read this morning, TeSlaa is dealing with an illness. Will he be able to play Sunday? I think he will be able to play. He'll probably be fine by Saturday, if not, tomorrow. If he's out there on the practice field yesterday, limited as it may be, that's a good sign. Now, if he's a full go today, yeah, no doubt in my mind. Mo, I want the Eagles to whoop the Cowboys tonight. That would make the opening game fine by my account. We'll watch it and see what happens. Hookadoo. Top of the morning, Duke Crew. It's time for the Green Bay Packers to start pack in cause we are come in to take over Detroit Lions. We're going to be roaring for the Detroit Lions, no doubt about that. Sunday, right around 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Troy Apple, when is Coach giving out his predictions? ? Is that today or tomorrow? That would be tomorrow, allegedly. Let's see. Bo, I like that our first game is at Lambeau Field. Yes, it is. Hey, after not winning there for 30 years, the fact that we've won there 3 straight, hey, let's just make that Ford Field West, I guess. Hookadoo, Johnny L., the man with grit. Good morning. I'm back at you both. So long. Morning to all in the Duke Crew. Sounds like Parsons' injury is legit. Yeah, 100% there. How did Green Bay trade for him knowing this? That's the big question starting to pop up more and more. Because if he doesn't play Sunday, and I do think there's growing pressure on the young man and the organization to roll him out there just for it, I just wondered, is that injury doesn't get better, it's going to get worse. The only way to get it better is just lots of rest, maybe a surgery or two. But, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, maybe it was the day before. Once the tread starts coming off the tire, and I'm talking about a knee or a back especially, it doesn't ever come back fully. And that's just based on my personal opinion. Maybe some of you have had other opinions, but just watching sports, having coached forever, those 2 areas of the body, it's never the same ever again. All right, Johnny L., you too, Hookadoo. I like that. Lambeau Field. Okay. Jessica, that is a very, very good question. Sociable? Yes, it is. Art, good morning. All 5 fingers ready. Doesn't sound like Cash Down is a fan of the Lions anymore. Everybody can have their own opinion. My opinion on it is you're taking a innocent statement. Hey, we're good right now. What do you want him to say as a coach? Hey, we absolutely need him here. We need to do something else. But that kind of slams down on the rest of the team then. That creates a sense of panic. Man, we're not good enough to do this without him. And I think that's why MCDC said, no, we're good. Now, the Lions signs Zadarius Smith, then I'm sure he's going to say, man, this is a great addition for us. Look at all he brings. Man, it's going to make everybody else around him better. I get that. Okay, just cheese heads have cheese brains. Might be true. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Ain't good to see Henry. Johnny L., maybe Parsons should retire before he really gets hurt. I don't know the full extent of that situation, but if this situation is legitimate, it might be able to, in some time, force him out of the league sooner versus later. Bo, I would say that someone in Green Bay really ate the cheese. Might be accurate. Art, other than the Lions on Sunday, what other game will you be watching? ? Steelers and Jets, Vikings and Bears. For me, it will hurt me to root for the Vikings. Yeah, I'm guessing, probably just as selfish Lions fans, we're going to watch any game that has some sort of tie to our future in the NFL this season. Bo, I don't know. Art, ? Besides tonight, I'm not thinking beyond our game. Might be accurate. Johnny L. Art, I agree with you. Trey, what's going on, everybody? ? One day closer to us going into Green Bay. Any news on TeSlaa? Just that he's returned to practice yesterday. Jess, greetings, salutations. Overall, we are in good health heading into Packer lands. We need to really keep that way this season. Can't do like we did last year. Yeah, I get it, man. And you are seeing, I know Phil Simms talked about it. A couple other people, putting out podcasts yesterday or national media saying if the Lions didn't have all the injuries last year, you probably would have seen Lions versus Philly in the NFC Championship game. And then who knows, goes to the Super Bowl. I know Rich Eisen did a thing. He even predicted he thought the Lions would win the Super Bowl this year. If you want to check that out, go for it. Art, last I heard, he had limited practice yesterday because of illness. That is correct. Johnny, Trey, I heard that he is sick. It does sound that way. Drake, I bet he plays Sunday. I would agree. Man Bear, good morning all. And back at you. Johnny L, in 3 days we shall see. We will see a whole lot of things. Bo, I'd place odds on Drake. Maybe he ate some bad food, question mark, test the grit. Could be. Yeah, maybe he ate something that didn't agree with him. Stephanie, good morning, boys, exclamation point. It would put us in a great spot to start this year 2-0. I think there is more pressure on us Sunday than Green Bay. Am I wrong for thinking that? No, I could see it being diagnosed either way. You could say, man, Green Bay just made all this headlines by getting Micah Parsons. You invested all those things. You got rid of Clark. And now that you're at home, you need to defend the home turf. So perhaps we could say there's more pressure on them. The other part of it is, Ford Field to the west, that's become your home turf, Lambeau Field. Lions, you get a win there. You get a win against Chicago to start the year. You're in a real good situation early in the season. Hookadoo, see what happens when you eat moldy cheese, Bo. There you go. Omega Beast, is Isaac TeSlaa back at practice? He is limited. Today, let's hope, though, Omega Beast, good to see you, by the way, that he's a full go at practice. Miles Mark, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. Grip morning, Hookadoo, and back at you both. Excuse me. Bo, Hookadoo, I was saying the same thing, exclamation point, and I concur. Mary Smith, good morning, Duke crew. Always good to see Mary. Angie, good morning, all. We must protect Goff. Go Lions, exclamation point. Yes, you protect Goff. You open up the run game. It opens up the passing game. Symbiotic relationship. Goff goes off for 5,000 yards by halftime. At least that's my hope. Rock, good morning, all. Never crossed my mind that TeSlaa was ill because something is going around on my team, too. Yeah, I know, Jen and I have had some sort of like stuffiness, especially it seems like later in the day. Nothing big, but you can probably hear it in my voice or whatever. Just a little bit of, congestion. Sounds like a lot of that's going around. France, morning, everyone. Win by 1 or 100. We need to just win this game. I like the way you're thinking. Alec, finally, exclamation point. No more Z talk. Thank you, Jesus. There you go. Yes, no more Z talk other than what was in the 5 headlines now regarding his girlfriend. Jess, are we done with quarterback position now that we have a third guy? Probably, although if a better option comes around, I'm sure Brad Holmes and the team will take a peek at it. Coach Rock, not sure. Stephanie, Green Bay just sold the house, and their fans are expecting wins now. Yeah, I would think you traded away your future for the next 2 years with first-round picks. Even though I guess if you're Green Bay, you say, man, if we win it all this year, they're really second-round picks. So I don't know. The more we find out about that back injury, the more I would be questioning why you made the trade. Mary Smith, yes, it is. My daughter and grandson got the bug, too. Yeah, a lot of people have it right now. Bo, but Alec, there you go again. All right, here we go again on our own. Hookadoo. Miles Barger, the man, the myth, soon to be the legend of grit. Good morning. Back at you both. Central Scrutinizer. Good morning. Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Woo! Forward down the field. That's the way we need to go on offense. Johnny L., I forgot what college he went to. I am talking about TeSlaa. Well, he went to Arkansas and then Hillsdale College prior to that. Hillsdale in Michigan. Big Eddie, a lot of people getting it right now. Mary Smith, yeah, as far as the crowd or whatever, correct. Coach Rock, good grit. Morning, Hookadoo, and other Dude members. Back at you. Kim, Hillsdale, correct. Hookadoo, Nurse Mary Smith, give your kids some of that wonderful grit of yours, 100%. Maybe get them a delicious Mountain Dew, too. That seems to cure everything for me. Bo, Rock M, the Rock of Ages, will be rocking the ages. Mary Smith, yes, Big Eddie. Coach Rock, Miles Martin, good to see you this nice and cold morning. There you go, my kind of weather. Kim, Isaac is back. He's back on the attack. Miles Margaret, Arkansas, wasn't it? Johnny L, it was. Hookadoo, The Rock, and around the clock, Mr. Grit, Coach Rock. Rocky, Bo Booth, how's it going? Mary Smith, Hookadoo, and the rest of the Duke crew, good morning. And yes, bring some grit this morning. We'll be bringing the grit. Miles Bar, Rock, sure feels like fall. It is fall, isn't it? Hey, it's football time. Susan Scott, Packers have some speed at wide receiver this year. I think our defense will be tested. They do. And I get Golden gets, and rightly so, a lot of, thoughts, and he probably will. The Packers have some good wide receivers. I think they've got a whole lot of good on that team. Are they as good as Detroit? I don't know. I mean, you think about last year, both games were fairly close, but also think about the fact that Detroit Lions defense was eviscerated. Like, not even there, really, both times we played the Packers, and we still found a way to win. I think the Packers have improved. I think the Lions have improved. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what any of us think. What matters what the players and coaches go out there and do. All right, Thomas, good day, Dan, the Duke crew. Exclamation point. May all your football dreams come true. Dan, who is your favorite player? I go Gibbs. Woo, woo. If you're talking about current Lions players, ooh. I don't know. James Houston isn't on the team anymore, so I can't say him. I'm probably going to go with Brian Branch at this point. I just like a lot of things about how he plays, his versatility, his demeanor. I'm going to go with him. Lionel, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew Worldwide! Exclamation point. So I hear we're signing CJ Berthel to the practice squad, question mark. At least he's a veteran with some experience. Lightning and Thundercats, yeah, they worked out 3 different quarterbacks yesterday. They made the call on him. So no news yet, at least that I've seen, who are releasing to be able to put him on the practice squad. Johnny, I thought that too. Miles Marger, Bo, Rocky, happy to chat today. Phone was off yesterday, so I could only watch. There you go. Robert, and back at you. Rock, thought I saw a snowflake at football practice last night. It might be accurate in some parts of Michigan. We're going to do 84 in Toledo yesterday. Today, not even 70. That's a little bit of a difference. JC Gully, greetings, salutations, coach and crew. Exclamation point. We're here, kickoff weekend. It is kickoff weekend. Art, do you know what uniforms they will be wearing? I do not. Attaboy, see, good morning. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Well, I like the way you're thinking. Coach Tiny K, hey, coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Are you ready for some football? I think we're all chopping at the bit for it. Bo, we love this stuff, man. I agree 100%. Miles Meyer, oh no, Rock, Johnny, Sonic and Knuckles, oh yeah, Rock. I was wondering, Bo, about not seeing any quotes from the greatest song of the 60s and 70s or for all time, for that fact. We'll go with that. Coach Tiny K, I read yesterday online that Skipper was with Chicago. Is that true? Or we have heard this too. He's, as far as I know, he's on the practice squad for the Detroit Lions. I didn't see anything about him getting poached, but maybe I missed it. Let's see, James. Can't wait to see the Lions beat Green Bay. I like the way you're thinking. Miles Meyer, I was at Sheboygan Farms Market yesterday, Grok, and the skies poured. Yes, it did rain, especially here in Kalamazoo, quite a bit. Laughing out loud. Rock, Skip Online's practice squad. Correct with that. Mary Smith got a question for the Duke Crew. If Coach Campbell said we're good right now, should we speculate we're moving on without Z, or is he just tired of the meeting asking him about Z? In my personal opinion, Mary, I think he's just tired about hearing about it. He's gone through it for 4 or 5 months. When is he coming back? When is he coming back? At least that's my opinion. A Visionary Roar. Good morning, Coach. Hey, talk about somebody I haven't seen in a hot second. Good to see you, my friend, this morning. Great day. Skipper was one of the first players signed on practice squad. That is correct. Lauren, what's up, Duke Crew? Woo! And back at you. Bo, Miles Meyer, I got caught in sideways rain in Charlevoix yesterday. Glad you survived it. Dale, morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Visionary Roar. Can't wait for Sunday when the score of 40 points and hold the Packers to 0. Man, that is a good first quarter score. Visionary Roar. What's your final game score, though? Matt, when I rehearse eating chips, all right? You have fun with that, my friend. Rock, same here, Bo. Monsoon. It was a monsoon yesterday for a little bit. We're going to marry the key word would for now. Correct with that. Dre Day. Mary, he is saying the team is good with or without Z. Nothing more than that, probably. Yeah, I didn't think it was a big comment, but, sometimes people interpret things differently. Johnny L., when we play the Cowboys, they should play Texas Flood, Stevie Ray Vaughan, or go. Rock, morning, Mary. Good to have you bringing the grit this morning and all mornings. I would agree with that. Hookadoo. It rains cats and dogs here last night. It was raining pretty hard. Phil's got a new thumbnail of something. I'm not 100% sure. Greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. May the green liquid be with you. I'm down with that. The dew is always with us all. Bo, what is Leafs trade potential? Question mark. Someone would have to make a huge offer. I don't know. And that's kind of what I was saying when I saw that story from Mike Moranis of the Sporting News. And again, he's covered the NFL a long time. His stories have some validity, at least in my eyes. Why would you trade him one, and what would you get in return that would be of value, number 2? I guess we'll find out. Miles Meyer, don't forget to do your ESPN Pigskin pick'ems, everyone. We'll check that out. John, morning all. Good to see you, John. How you doing today? James, Cleve Raymond has guts, and guts is enough. I concur with that. John, go Detroit. I like the way you're thinking. Miles Meyer, great morning, John. Let's see, Mary. Rock, good morning. Rock, good morning, Phil. Do you happen to dab in making acoustic guitars? Ooh, that's a good question. Dre Day, last year for Khalif, then Love It will take that spot. Man, I think that's probably some accuracy there. Phil, mostly repairs, okay? David, maybe they trade Khalif for a backup center. That could be an idea. That's not a bad idea. Todd, he didn't say anything about not bringing him back, just that we're good now. Correct with that. Johnny L., Detroit Lions will dominate. I concur. Dre Day, to be fair, imagine how the locker room would feel if MCDC said, yeah, we need Z on a roster, isn't good enough. That would be worse. Yeah, then yeah, I think to your point, Dre Day, 100%, you bring down the morale of those who are here. Miles Bar, Cash humming, stand by your man. He might be true. Just see, Derek, until Z signs somewhere, we'll be hearing the rumors. That is accurate. The Rebel, good morning, Coach Stanley, the Duke crew, and back at you. Attila, let's have Lovett play one NFL snap before we trade away Raymond, who is their best special teams weapons and had a great camp. I agree with all that, but, if the coaches came to the conclusion they're going to trade him, I guess I'm going to support him. I don't know if this is going to happen. Again, I'm only referencing it in the 5 headlines now because of Mike Morales having it. Cynthia, good morning. All back at you. JD, what do you got? I think Zedarius wants more than what Brad Holmes is willing to pay. That probably is accurate. Like we need him more than we need him. Maybe Cash is hyping it up. Maybe. Good. Yeah, she's trying to help her man. Rock, Phil may have to get a hold of you someday about a touch-up or two. We get a hold of Phil. Mary, Cash Doll needs to stick with her music and stay out of the NFL. She might be hurting Z's return sometime. It's best to sit back and quiet, in my opinion only. You might be fully right with that. Look at you. One thing her being less than happy about would be, is that being said, he wants to be back in Detroit, a pretty big tell. Oh, yeah. I really think if he is going to return, it's probably like within 48 hours after the Green Bay game. Till the Hunt, Mary Smith, I think this is more about that they are being sick of being asked about Z. Yeah, I think, MCDC is probably just over it. Mr. Morale, good morning, my friend. What up, Duke crew? How you doing today, my friend? The Rebel, that's my Super Bowl prediction. Exclamation. Oh, yeah. Hey, sometimes we think alike. See, Steve Danodamas is like Santa Claus for Lions fans. Ho, ho, ho. Well, hopefully we see him sooner versus later. Rock, so who's out on the practice squad? Nobody officially as of at least me starting the show. Johnny, yeah, Attila? James, it is Darius Smith's girlfriend is throwing zingers at MCDC and the Lions brass. Wouldn't you think that the Lions would want to bring him back after that? I would think it would impact it, but probably not a whole lot. They're just going to make a decision, at least in my opinion, that's best for the team. People sometimes get into their feelings and say things they don't always agree with later. Mary, till the Hun, that would be my thoughts too. See, James, barring injuries, exclamation point, remember we still have starters on the sidelines. Health is the key. If we go to the Super Bowl, there will be Lions fans saying to fire Brad and Dan. Sad. I'll go with that. Cynthia, Queen Mary, exclamation point, very true. Stay in music. Let Z take care of football. Good morning, by the way. Well, good morning to you both. Mo Cash Doll reminds me of the King and I. Woman talks the king into execution and her arrogance. Might be true. Steve, Daniel Damas is like Santa Claus for Lions fans. Correct with that. Let's grill some cheese on Sunday. I like the way you're thinking. Jennifer, morning all. Back at you. The Rebel, good news. We could use a third quarterback. We've got one apparently now. Thomas, that's loose Doms. Fans will say fire Brad and Dan. Might be true. Mary, Cynthia, good morning. Agreed. The Rebel, woo! Exclamation point. Glad to hear it's not serious regarding TeSlaa. Yeah. Oh, thankfully, no injury. Like we were talking about, I think it was yesterday. The fact that he wasn't on an injury report or anything last Thursday or Friday, then they had, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off for the most part. Just where would he have gotten hurt, I guess. All right, Silver Surfer, good morning, Coach and all Lions fans. Same to you, Silver. Good to see you surfing. Miles Meyer, grip morning, Silver Surfer. Johnny L., the media is so fickle. It is, man. Look at you. It's mind-boggling how many weapons we have. We've got a lot of offensive weapons. There ain't no doubt there. Thomas, does no one not remember Raymond does get hurt? Then it's on TeSlaa and other rookie. Health is key. Let's keep healthy. James, I seen a pretty cool video on YouTube about Isaac TeSlaa playing golf. He's decent at golf. Hey, good for him, man. He seems like he's pretty versatile in sports. Mega Hustle 313. I'm still skeptical about Ford Field artificial turf with all the fluke injuries to the defense last season, especially when it comes to Marcus Davenport. Man, I know they may want to, bubble wrap him a little bit at home games. Phil, maybe COVID, TeSlaa, it is possible. I mean, they did have him on basically Zoom meetings for one day, and then he came back limited yesterday. The Rebel, I still believe that Tim Patrick trade was kind of premature. Yeah, you got to go with what you're thinking there. If you're Brad Holmes, I guess. Lauren, Dallas, Angie, Dallas, yeah. Amazing, Jonathan, Packers, Marcus, Cowboys, Phil, Dallas, Miles, Margaret, Cowboys, Thomas, Cowboys says Cowboy, Steve, Doughboy, Steve, Art, Dallas 1, Bo, Dallas, Johnny, Dallas, Ronnie, what do you got? In the long run, the Packers could be true. Kim, Dallas, amazing. Green Bay, Silver Surfer, Miles Marker is strong for Cats, I guess. Gabe Dallas got 2 first-round picks and a defensive tackle who still has a couple years left. I agree with that right there. Yeah, I really like Clark. Pierce Packers won in the long run. All right. Dale, TBD on the Parsons trade to be determined. Okay. Thomas, Dallas won the trade. Exclamation point. Green Bay should call the cops. It was a crime. Yeah, if something happens where Parsons is limited this year, and maybe, unfortunately, with a back injury the rest of his career, yeah. Henry, Kyle Gross, I'll take that. The Rebel, I love the game show. Hey, who doesn't love game shows, right? And every once in a while, we'll have it on Lions Talk Live. Cynthia, Dallas won the trade. Longevity is important. I agree with that. Marcus, Jerry Jones estate. Might be. That's a good one. Lauren Z. Smith, Green Bay vibes. All right. Bo, I have had way too many cortisone shots. Yeah, and they're not fun from what I've heard. Again, I've never had one, so I can only tell you what I've heard from other people. Yeah, and the fact that he's young and already having to allegedly get the shots in order to play, man, that back's going to go south in a hurry. Marcus is pointing upwards. Dre Day, at this rate, the Cowboys won the Micah trade because of the injury. Jerry is never smart, just lucky. Hey, sometimes you got to be lucky in life. Amazing 3, the Rebel, the Packers could win the trade over the long haul. It could be. Angie 3, Thomas 4, Doughboy Steve 3, Brent Ditto Bo, Miles Marker 3, Lauren 3, Tufts for golf. We'll take that. That'll be a good first week for the season for him. Kim 3 TDs. Drake Golf will have 2 touchdown passes. I'll take that. Johnny 4, Dale 2 touchdowns for golf. Vernon, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Coach, I can't wait to see Sewell versus Parson battle. Coach, how is Decker? Is he healthy? It sounds like he's been good in camp. You know, once he got the cleanup procedure, missed the first week or whatever it was at training camp. Sounds like he's been good since then. Bo 3+, Henry 3. Thomas, $47 million for an above-average defensive end in losing, run-stuffing defensive lineman for 2 first-round picks. Could be. It could be that's what will end up panning out. Marcus, Jared Goff will throw 1 touchdown, but Lions running backs will run for 3. Ooh, I like that thought there. Let's see, Hookadoo, with my back, I would start my shift and not even an hour in, my back would be toast. Yeah, and that's, I'm assuming, non-contact, somebody hitting you like it was a 300-pound or plus offensive lineman. Cynthia 4, Dale agreed. Marcus, Coach Tiny K, I read yesterday O-line that Skipper was in with Chicago. Is that true, or have you heard this to be true? Sounds like, yeah, he's still with the Lions practice squad, so I would say not true there, Coach K. Phil, cortisone, question mark. You can't do cortisone like that. Shot in the backs are usually a nerve block that lasts a few months normally. I've worked in a pain clinic. Okay, thanks for that update, Phil. Yeah, and that's more your line of work than mine. James, Mike Parsons is going to find out why the NFC North is the black and blue division. I hope his back holds up. Well, we'll find out in time. Brock, time will tell on the Green Bay trade. Just reminds me the Minnesota and Dallas trade years ago, and Dallas won a couple Super Bowls after the Minnesota fell on its face. It did indeed. Let's see, Pierce, St. Brown, Vernon, 5 touchdowns. Wouldn't that be something, man? Miles Bar, J-Mo says Angie, Coach Tiny K. I think Dallas won the trade. Thomas, J-Mo, exclamation point. Woo! And there you go. Lauren, St. Brown, or J-Mo. Courtney, I've had a few steroid shots for injury. Not good for adrenal glands, excuse me. Marcus, St. Brown, Kim, Laporta, Drede, St. Brown still leads receiving yards. I'll go with that. Todd, St. Brown, Dale, St. Brown, Phil, TeSlaa, Doughboy, Steve, St. Brown, Cynthia, J-Mo, Jason, 2 touchdowns with the duo having 2 more. Ooh, there you go, Jason. Gabe, what do you got? J-Mo with 1,300 yards receiving. That'd be a pretty good year, wouldn't it? Vernon, St. Brown, Angie, 9, Lauren, solid 8 or 10. I'll take that. That'd be a real good start for him. JD, that's a hard question. Hey, sometimes you got to ask the hard questions, right? Pierce, 8 out of 10 for the offensive line. Todd, 8.8. Marcus, 8 out of 10. Mosmar, 4 out of 10. Thomas, St. Brown leading with in receiving 1,400 yards if healthy. Hookadoo. J-Mo, beep, beep. Hopefully he's going beep, beep past a whole lot of defenders this year. Thomas, 8, Silver Server. Mega Hustle. Artificial turf in Detroit is top of the line. Cannot be just that. Vikings have AstroTurf and had very little injuries last year. Yeah, we'll find out what's happening. Kim, 9 out of 10. Dale, 7 for the offensive line. Gibbs says Marcus. Lauren Gibbs. Michael, didn't Cleve Raymond return a 90-yard kick return last year in October 2024 versus Texans? I'd keep him back there for returns this season as well. Why not? Yeah, we'll see what happens. Phil, 12 out of 10. Man, that's a good prediction there. Thomas Gibbs, exclamation point. Dre Day, offensive line 7 out of 10. Rocky, healthy. JMO, long routes. Quick, what do you got? Gibbs, Johnny 5. Bo, I want Penny to catch a TD. We'll see if that happens. Jay Gibbs, Miles Meyer, Hutch, Pierce, Hutch, Al, Cowboys, Cynthia Gibbs, Thomas Gibbs, Dale Gibbs, Kim, MVP, Aiden, Hookadoo, there we go, Gibbs, Thomas Gibbs leads rushing. If Goff gets MVP, we win Super Bowl. I like that. I like it indeed. Hermondo, I meant JMO for MVP. I'll take that, Marcus. Vernon Hutchinson, MVP. Mary, I got a tie. St. Brown and JMO. Ooh, I wonder if they'll try to have a tie. Lauren Hutch, Coach Rock, hoping Davenport has a year. I think we're all, as Lions fans, hoping he has a phenomenal year. Pierce Hutch, again, leads in sacks. Dre Day gives Talk Rusher and Jared Goff for NFL MVP, gives offensive MVP, Hutch defensive MVP. I'll take all of the above. Lauren Hutch, Bo, DDI for MVP, might be true. Miles Meyer Hutch, Thomas Hutch, exclamation point. Mary Smith Hutch, Todd Hutch, Kim, Aiden Sachs, and Courtney MVP, Brian Branch, Dale Hutch, old boy Steve Hutchinson, DM5. I can't believe they said we're good on Big Z. Yeah, it comes down to how you interpret what they mean by that, and that I don't know. Johnny Hutch, JD, the Hutch, Phil, the guy with the long hair. We got a couple of guys with long hair for sure. JD, Hutch, but Davenport, strong, second in sacks. I like that. Let's see, Coach Rock, Hutch will be the sack leader. Bo, Hutch all the way. Hookadoo, I'd love to see that. Bo, exclamation point. Marcus, Davenport will lead the team in sacks. Man, how many Lions fans would be jump up in joy if that ends up being true? Thomas, Rock M, very, very true. Exclamation point. Davenport must have a good year. I concur. Thomas 8, Joseph, Todd, Brian Branch, Lauren, Brian Branch, 1 INT, Phil Branch, Miles Meyer Branch, Branch in total turnovers, Kirby for INT, says Pierce. Very detailed. Quick, what do you got? 14-3, Super Bowl. I'll take that. Kim, Brian Branch leads the defense. Big D, Big Z wants more than we're willing to give him. Let the Z stuff go. Everyone, he's not coming. We'll find out. Cynthia BB, Dre Kirby leads in turnovers, probably 7 picks. I would be way okay with that. Johnny, Terry and Arnold, Marcus, Joseph, Kirby, says Lionel. Mary, a tie again. Kirby and Jamo, we'll go with that. Bo, AA interception, maybe. Dale, Brian Branch, Pierce, Tate, biggest impact. Yeah, I think Tate's going to have an impact for sure. TeSlaa, says Lauren. Dale, Ratledge, Miles Margaret, TeSlaa, Kim, Tate, Marcus, Thomas, biggest rookie, TeSlaa, Johnny L. Stewart, Thomas, it is it. Okay. Isaac TeSlaa. There you go, Thomas. There you go. Phil, Tate, DM5, no way that Pat O'Connor, Andre Carter Jr., Tyrus Wheat are better than Big Z. We'll find out. See, you're going to do TeSlaa. Mary, oh yeah, I like TA too. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be talking about TA this year. Marcus Ratledge, Bo, Tyleek Williams is being slept on. It does feel that way a little bit. You know, for being a first-round pick, he does feel like we're not talking about him nearly enough. Coach Tiny K rookies, Meeks and TeSlaa. We'll go with that. Verno, who will be MVP on the offensive line? That's a very good question. Cynthia, tough question. Stewart and TeSlaa. Miles Margaret, yes, tough question. Cynthia, Dre Day, Tate will have the biggest impact on the season. I'll go with that. That might be true. JD, why are these hard questions? Exclamation point. I could be Branch and Joseph. It could be, man. Hey, you got to ask the hard questions. Put it at you guys. Let you digest the information. Big D, Z is not coming. Sorry, guys. Move on. We'll do that. Todd, Rat. Phil, not sure Meeks is a rookie. Yeah, Meeks is a rookie. He was an undrafted free agent rookie. DM5, Big D, makes no sense. That's all. Marcus, 5 rookies will make an impact, including Miles. Ooh, I'll go with that on Miles. Leonard, greetings, salutations all. Let's go Lions. Good to see you this morning, Leonard. Big D, Tyleek, the Freak, is going to have a monster rookie year. I concur. Lionel, Tyleek, Phil, Z will be signed after the Green Bay game, if ever. I concur with that at this point. Coach Rock, Ratledge needs to fill some big shoes, and TeSlaa will fill in just fine. He will get Goff's trust real soon. Might be very, very true. Thomas, Tyleek will make his talent known, exclamation point, but defensive line is a very different place, really gets noticed. True. Silver Surfer, think that Saint will get 1,000 yards and 90 catches. JMO more targets. TeSlaa will command attention and will get targets. Laporta will be targeted, and you got the 2 running backs and Cleve. Less but deeper passes, okay? Vernon, is Meeks in the active roster? He's on the practice squad. Good question there, Vern. Enjoy the question session, Coach. Hey, sometimes I get something right, Miles Meyer. Marcus, yes, Dan O'Damas, exclamation point. Might see him soon. Hookadoo, when Hassanin returns, he will be a beast. I think so. Big M, DM5, I agree, but you know something we don't, and I trust our coaches. Yeah, you probably should trust the coaches. The Rebel, yes, Coach, this is a very nice rookie class. I think so, too. Mary Smith, I got Tyleek and Tate. Dunk Kong, they are not signing Z, period. We'll put an end on it. Phil, Goff, 300 yards this year rushing. Wouldn't that be something? It'd be a breakout year for crazy like Cynthia. Yes, all the rookies will shine. It does feel like they've got some shine to them. JD, that game show makes you think about how great we are. Yes, indeed. Big D, Phil, if Goff has 300 yards rushing, we win the Super Bowl. Man, we might win the next 10 Super Bowls if he has 300 yards rushing. Dale, has anyone seen Dan O'Damas and Coach in the same room at the same time? That is a fair question. Hookadoo, C will be back, period. Mary Smith, yes, I'm agreeing with the whole rookie class. It does feel like it's going to be, and again, I don't know if it'll be as good as the Gibbs rookie class, but it feels like it's going to be a good rookie class. Big D, yeah, where the heck is Dan O'Damas? I don't know, man. I don't know. Coach Rock, call me shocked if this many rookies are on the team. Woo! All right. Phil, he will still be a week. All right. And Vern, Eagles blow Dallas out 42-10. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably not going to be ultimately a very close game tonight. Big D, all Coach mentioned about Z was there are good without him. Correct with that. Feels like a whole lot about nothing. Phil, Coach doesn't do predictions. Dan O'Damas does. That is true. Johnny L. Thunder and Lightning. Oh, yeah. Woo! We'll take that. DM5 Parsons looked fine in practice, so I think the injury thing is overblown. Might be accurate. I don't know. Let's see. The Rebel, we know TeSlaa is a star. Exclamation point. However, I believe Lovett and Meeks will be a nice little surprise for the NFL. Oh, yeah. Yes, I think they've got some faith in both those guys. Gary, hey, everyone. Hey, Gary. Michael, Kirby led the league in picks last season, didn't he? He did. He had 9, laughing out loud. Phil, does Jen enjoy wearing harem clothing for Dan O'Damas? Well, inquiring minds will want to know. Southwest Green Sanitation, Duke Crew. Woo! Good to see you, my friend. All right, we got 3 minutes to go, so I'm going to power through here, try to get some people on who haven't been on as much. All right, Christian, cracking open and fresh new, exclamation point. Woo! That's a good way to start the morning. Todd, Vikings is Monday night. Correct with that. Mary, in my opinion, Z is he's 32 and wants to get paid, but MCDC and Coach is looking out for the long haul, and not that they don't want him back for the kind of money he's asking for. Yeah, he might be asking for more than they're willing to pay. Dale, I know Coach likes wide receiver Robert Clark. This is true, but forget his sidekick, Richard Johnson. Yeah, I remember them both. The Smurfs, man. The old days. Yeah, I enjoyed those teams, man. A big time. Dan, Lions 38, Packers 14. I like the way you're thinking. E-Dog, who would be the starting running back? I would think it's Gibbs, but I guess we don't know yet. Final countdown. I think Parsons just betted on himself for a big payday, knowing he might retire in 2 to 3 years. Might be very true. Todd, Green Bay has proven that they can finally be a good team. We'll find out if they can. DM5, Lions 31, Packers 20. Silver Surfer, wonder why Fromm has not taken into consideration. As far as I know, he's not even in the NFL right now. So the coaches around the NFL have told you what they're thinking about him. All right, same old soup. Lions will cream the cheese Saturday. Might be. Roger, was Dallas required to disclose Micah's condition to Green Bay? Well, two-part thing. Yes, and then also when you acquire the player, your training staff and doctors get to do a full conditioning report on that player. If they didn't pick up on anything, that leads me to believe that maybe it's not as big a deal as is being reported. If they missed it, those guys are probably all getting fired pretty quickly. DM5, Bethel stinks. Mary, all the media is doing is pouring fuel on the fire, and I truly believe that the Lions are taking notes if they're not coming to Lambeau to shut it down. Yeah, I think they're going to make it their own home field. Dre Day, Michael was forced to take a physical before the trade. Yeah, this is true. Big D, Johnny, I laughing out loud. I'll go with that. Pierce, who caused the unpredictable weather? We'll find out. And these fish, I would like to see Gibbs win the NFL rushing title this year. Let's see if he can. Johnny, let's see. Johnny L, you're funny. Phil, 45 degrees here right now. CG, what do you got? Dan and the Duke Crew. What's going on, CG? How you doing today, my friend? Johnny L, it's 57 here. Phil, it's a rare lightning strike picture from space. Okay, thank you for that. And I did not know. Thank you. Todd, currently 40 here in the UP. Enjoy the UP, my friend. Donkey 42 here in Green Bay. Kevin, greatest sanitation coach. Back at you. Hookadoo, T-Town is 58. Mary Smith, Johnny agreed 100%. Let's see. Art, Tilla, remember that the most serious injury happened away from Detroit, and most were caused by their own players colliding or dirty plays from Arizona. That's true. I'll tell Phil, at least until year 3, like our Rakestraw. Phil, Sewell is in camp, in shape, full camp. Parsons injury, no comp, and not in shape. Sewell should dominate. Yes, and I think they'll move Parsons all around. David J-Mo, I concur with that. Miles Barker, I appreciate their clarification about Corsdale shots, Phil. Yes, and Phil probably knows more about it than any of us. Let's see, Johnny Gaz, good morning, Duke Crew, exclamation point. Very excited for week 1. Who's ready for some football? I think we're all ready for some football. Broski Bear, shout out Johnny Gaz, David Gibbs, Johnny, absolutely Attila, Miles Marger, with number 4 for week 1. Wow, I really overthought that one. It happens, man. It happens. Mary Smith, Johnny Gaz, I'm so ready for some Sunday night football. We're going to have it soon. Phil, thanks, Coach. Great show. Anytime, my friend. Do the best I can. Hookadoo, we are on the same page, Mary Smith. Who leads, Broski Bear, who leads the Lions and INTs this season? Question mark. Who leads the team in receiving yards? We'll find out what everybody has to say. Melissa Fisher, Johnny Gaz, I am beyond ready for some football. Exclamation point. Let's go, Lions. Let's get on going. Mary Hookadoo brings the grit Sunday. I'll agree with that. Looking for a few more that haven't been on here. Bo Booth, Happy Trails, Duke Crew, all done and dusted. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. Phil, Dan Adamas hides in plain sight. Could be everywhere. He's here, he's there, he's every skipping where. Maybe. Carrie Sewell, silent but deadly. All right. Earl, good morning. Go Lions. Back at you. Carrie. Phil, Blubster, laughing out loud. Mary Hookadoo is in love and thumbs up. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before checking on out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. See you guys.